And I know it wasn't exactly the next thing on the list, but since we're on the topic of Geo and Bill, we can talk about how Bill has definitely seen
I swear
some
you be
improvement
trying to jump around
coming
on
from
this.
Geo.
I swear this man jumps around. We have a whole. God dang it.
Dang, that man knocked off his whole setup for a minute. That man was so upset his whole setup was tired of him.
Hey, that's a clip. Make sure to put the Wii music this week with all the clips.
Listen,
Just put the Wii music in. Literally, as soon as you get your clips, add Wii music right in the background. Do do do. Oh, but we got a whole docket. This man says, "Do we got a docket order?" Yes. Do I feel like following it right at this very moment? Absolutely not.
not even that. It just felt like it fit since we were still talking about the
I
team as
I
a
know.
whole.
I'm just screwing with you. I'm just screwing with
And
you. Cause
like,
think about it.
I ain't worried
No, but
about you.
think about it. How many times on this pod have I probably jumped subjects?
Listen, I don't even know. I don't even be keeping track.
I'll go with whatever subject flows better for me.
So
But
basically, they're
talk
saying,
to
you
me.
know,
What they
since
saying?
so they're saying, you know, they had to go back, do some regrouping after the TC after week one, you know, had to go back, think about it,
I mean, you
figure out
got
what's going
smacked
on.
48-10.
Because even Bill said, like, I mean, at some point you just have to gotta meditate a little bit, or you just, you know, relax and try to regroup and go hard.
I'm sorry, 14.
Because
I gotta give him
he's
his
even
board
said, like,
14.
he's even compared coaching to a treadmill you just can't get off of. He said the constant grinds of preparing for the next opponent never slow down. He said, if anything, it kind of speeds up a little bit, especially this week, since they're preparing for UCF.
It's- it speeds it speeds up once you trip. You holding on to the rails, and
Yeah.
your feet are dragging. Ah,
And basically what happened, that's because think about it. Because week one, they were hopping on a treadmill at like set up
at
at like
eight,
28.
at eight, and they was expecting a two. They tried to jump up. Ah,
Gone.
oh God!
And so it's basically see like with the last 2 weeks is offered North Carolina and Geo and Bill and the coaching staff a chance to kind of regroup, get their mindsets right. And it said multiple players spoke about the sting of the season opener, and specifically the idea of being embarrassed on national television. This is especially true for Lopez. The last time Lopez faced a Power Four opponent, he went missing. Against TCU, he
Ooh.
didn't complete a pass for 2 hours of real time.
Oh
The ESPN broadcast
yeah.
showed a graphic with
Oh,
the
they were
last
talking about the
reported pass
TCU game.
at
I thought they were
12
talking about
p.m.
before that.
during the game to drive home to that point. But North Carolina has a reset since then, so has Lopez. On Tuesday, Belichick spoke about his growing relationship with the signal caller and the one-on-one proposition of working with quarterbacks. The key, he said, is not to overwhelm a young player like Lopez. So I don't think you want to overload him. I think you want to find something that they can tangibly grab a hold of and say, okay, that makes sense. That helps me. Every quarterback is different, said Belichick, and he tailors his teaching methods to each one. Tom Brady didn't run a lot, for instance, so Belichick prioritized helping him understand coverages, weak spots of the defense, and playing situational football. Belichick said he's gone over a lot of situational football with Lopez as well, saying that's the idea is to get the situations handled right and then to fundamentalize and the fundamentals of playing the position that are most important to me, things like ball security, communication in a huddle, and things like that. Not groundbreaking news, but the things that are most important on the quarterback's checklist. If you do those things wrong, then chances of being a good player are pretty low, which is very true. And
Mm-hmm.
Belichick said he sees signs of Lopez's improved confidence lately. As a coach, there's a specific tell how quickly and decisively a quarterback gets the ball out. And I will say he was a lot better at it come against Richard.
About just
Like Charlotte, he was still a little, but he was making decisions quicker than he had been the first two games. So I think a couple of Geo's throws to Jake Johnson came out real quick. They got there just in time. Jake was able to squirt forward for a first down a couple of times. Things like that. If you just hesitate another split second, maybe Johnson makes a catch. Maybe he doesn't get an extra 2 yards for the first down. There's a difference between anticipating the receiver being open and then seeing him open.
that is
And it
true.
says still beneath the incremental progress lies an undercurrent of concern. Lopez through 3 games has yet to find a steady rhythm. The South Alabama transfer shows flashes against Richmond and Charlotte, but both performances were far from flawless. Very factual. So there are only 10 quarterbacks in the FBS, minimum of 20 plays, 20 action plays per game, with lower quarterback ratings than Lopez. So Pro
Mm.
Football Focus, Lopez ranks 161st in his NCAA quarterback position grades. North Carolina has 41 first downs on the season and is 12 for 36 on third downs, ranking sub 100 nationally in both categories.
Oof.
So,
Hey, man. It can get better, though, guys. It can get better. We're not going to think negative. It can get better. Not as good as that, though. Every week. Every day at 10:15.
So apparently, Bill Belichick and Scott Frost from UCF coached together with the Jets back in the 90s.
Interesting.
Not even coached together. No, Bill Belichick picked Frost. And then a college quarterback.
I'm about to say, wait. Isn't that the same time when Belichick said he was going to coach the Jets, but then left 1 day later?
I think he left the year after. I think he left the season after this.
No, because he never played a game. He never coached a game with them.
With the Jets?
I don't think he ever coached a game with them.
He said where Belichick served as defensive coordinator in the late 1990s.
Hold up, because
so Belichick picked up Frost, then a college quarterback in Nebraska in the third round of the NFL draft, and converted him to a safety with the New York Jets, where Belichick served as defensive coordinator in the late 90s. So for those players that have flipped from one side of the ball to the other, having that experience, especially defensive back, having played quarterback, is a big, big advantage. Scott was a hardworking guy. He was smart. And again, he was very versatile as a football player to be able to play in all three phases of the game. You don't see that very often these days where guys are legitimately line up in all three positions.
Yeah. So in 2000, Belichick was hired on January 3rd. He was hired on January 3rd, 2000 to be the Jets head coach after Bill Parcells had stepped down. And the very next day, Bill announced his resignation, writing it on a napkin saying, "I resign as head coach of the New York Jets." I remember that. I remember that. I was like, nah. When he was head coach, he was only head coach of the Jets for a day before he quit.
Now, this is like I said, this was talk about him being defensive coordinator. So this is before he got the head coaching job.
I just remember immediately his Jets ties. I always remember that story of, hey, yo, I'm head coach for a day. 1 day later, you know what? I ain't doing this.
You know what's funny about that, though?
What?
The Jets haven't recovered since.
I mean, they made it to 2 AFC title games. They did.
I know they did.
I watched it. They made it to AFC title games. Butt fumble wasn't all bad.
That messed up their relationship, definitely.
Nah, what messed up their relationship is the fact that not only did he leave, he went right over to the team in the same division.
He went to the same team in the same division.
And just dominated them for the next 20 years. That messed up the relationship. Man said, I'm going to go right over here. I'm going to go about 150 miles north, 200 miles north up in New England. And then I'm going to smack you up for the next 20 years.
So what happened was, Scott Frost played as a quarterback at Nebraska.
Corners.
They drafted him. Belichick converted him from a quarterback to a safety.
He was a corner?
He was a quarterback. He was a QB.
Like Gio.
Scott Frost?
I'm saying, yeah, he was a quarterback, same position as Gio and Max.
Yeah, he was the same position as Gio and Mac when he got drafted.
Had him go to safety?
And Belichick converted him to a safety.
Oh, hell. I ain't gonna front. My scholarship better be paid for me to do that. It's one thing to change me position. You change me all the way to the other side of the ball in a completely different man. Listen.
Let's see here. Now he ain't put up booming numbers or nothing either, though.
But that's what I'm saying. You could have,
but his numbers weren't bad as a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Why don't you just keep him at QB? Like I hate the whole, hey, we're gonna convert your position from QB to something else because you think you'd be better at something. I
Well,
I
because
think I
he
have a disdain
well,
for
well,
that because it
well,
happened to me.
well, he only threw for 3,100 yards, a little over
In how many
3,100
years?
yards in 4 years
Okay. And when was this? When did he throw for 3,100?
total
I'm saying
for
no,
4 years,
when.
from 94 to 97.
That's why.
Because he
94 to
played 2 years
97.
at Stanford, transferred from Stanford, and went to Nebraska.
94 to 97 was the tail end of the that was the tail end of the still, hey yo, we just dominate with the run and occasionally pass era of football. Like you
Now,
ain't see,
I think the end of that was like 2005.
but I'm saying that was the tail end. Like you're starting to tail that off. So
Yeah,
him
I mean,
throwing for 30, so him throwing for
well,
3,100
well, look
is
at it this
what I
way.
would expect.
Because we'll look at it this way. Look at it this way. Because his first year in Nebraska, he had 104 completions on 200 attempts, so threw for 52% and 1,440 yards and 13 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So he got good marks.
Yeah, I expect
Then
that.
his senior year, he threw for 88 passes out of 159 attempts, 55% completion percentage, 1,237 yards, and 5 touchdowns to 4 interceptions.
And that his senior year was when he went to Nebraska, right?
Well, his junior and senior year, he was in Nebraska.
Yeah. Like I said, at that era when the power run and everybody's like running the football is still a thing and we ain't got to throw the ball all the time, I expect that. I honestly expect that. So that's why I still would have kept him at QB because you're converting a dude into a position that he probably hasn't played since high school. If he played that in high school,
Let's see here. Because yeah, he was, like I said, he was a leading passer overall. Oh, this is the year they had Amon Green. That 97 years when they had Amon Green.
oh, the Cornhuskers.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
then
Amon Green ran for
but then,
1,800 for
but
almost
then,
1,900 yards.
even then, he would have been a good backup for Amon Green if something had happened to him.
No, Amon Green was the running back. That Green Bay's old running back, Amon Green.
I was thinking of
Yeah.
that quarterback they had. But
Now here's the other thing. Scott Frost also ran for almost 1,200 yards, almost 1,100 yards. He was
and
5 yards short.
and did I not say that was the year? That was the era of running the ball, and we will occasionally pass.
Actually, Ted, true. I'm going to ignore that argument entirely. This is when Nebraska didn't have a pass game for what, 20 years?
But what are you talking about?
That was Nebraska's whole identity for a long time. Because no, you're not wrong. That was an era where there's a lot of running going on, but Nebraska ran the ball better than almost anybody else in the country at that point.
Because I'm not saying Nebraska didn't, but I do know that Nebraska was like, "Hey, yo," because you said 97, right? Because they won the championship in 94, 95, and 97. They were national
Yeah,
champions.
it was the 7 year they won that championship. Like I said, because Amon Green went for almost 1,900 yards by himself. And Scott Frost ran for another 1,100 yards. The year before, rushing wise, they ran for 3,500 yards the year before.
Let's see.
Because I remember seeing this on a list about a year ago. They were talking about this exact team.
Because I know Nebraska I know Nebraska was dominant during that time frame. I'm
Yeah,
just
no, this was
like,
the years where like that run game was dang near unstoppable.
But blah 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 blah.
Because from 93 to 97, Nebraska lost 3 games.
I mean, yeah.
They lost 2 games in 96 and 1 game in 93. And this is back when the conference was the Big Eight
Ew. That just sounds gross.
before it converted to the Big 12 in 96.
I'm sorry, that just sounded gross. The Big Eight.
Oh, yeah, no, it sounds terrible.
Ew. Like, bro. Here's the other thing. Like, so I'm looking right now at the top receivers in that 95 year. Top receiver was Alex Van Dyke with 1854 receiving yards. He was at Nevada. And that was when Nevada was like just a throwing school. 16 touchdowns. And he had a season career. He had the season lead at 129 catches. But honestly, I'm looking at these stats like passing wise. I'm like, bro, almost only the top 20 had 1,000-yard seasons. You go now, you look at right now in college football.
Because check this out.
Let me just look right now.
Because rushing wise, against the number 1 rated Michigan that year, Ahman Green and Scott Frost had more rushing yards by themselves than the entire team did for Michigan that year.
Hey, like I said, they ran
Michigan
first,
as a team in 1997 rushed for 2060.
They ran first, ask questions later.
Ahman Green and Scott Frost by themselves had over 3,000 yards.
Ran first, ask questions later. I don't know what you want from me. I'm telling you what it is. We run first, ask questions later. Yeah.
See what Florida State had going on,
bro. I'm looking right now. So 20. So check this out. 2023, right? 2024. Top 27 receivers had 1,000. 2023, top 33 receivers had 1,000 yards. 2022, top 31 receivers had 1,000 yards. And honestly, could have been 33 again because the 2 of them were like 5 yards short. Here's why I say a lot nowadays. It's easier. Like nowadays in today's 2021, 39. The top 39 receivers in the league had 1,000 yards. We are definitely that was definitely the run era. When the top 40 receivers in the league, in the NCAA, all have 1,000-yard seasons. Like,
because let me go. I went and looked in. So Florida State, number 3 in the AP poll in 97, only had 1,233 yards rushing as a team. They threw for 3,700 yards. Or Thad Busby threw for 3,700 yards. Or 3,300.
That's a hilarious name. Thad Busby. Big Thad Busby.
We'll see what Florida got going on. Florida threw for 3,000 yards that year.
Let's get back on track.
Rushed for 1,600 yards.
Oh my God.
Oh, listen, I got in North Carolina, who ended it at 6th in that year.
Here we go.
Threw for a team is 2,800 yards as a team and only rushed for 1,500 or 1,600. So, like at that point in time, like Nebraska's rushing offense was unstoppable. A whole different monster.
They're beast.
So, like it I don't know what to tell you. Like they didn't have a pass game to save their life, but that run game was ridiculous.
Redonkulous.
So I think what happened was Bill, as good of a passer as Scott Frost was, I think they looked at it more like, you know what? I think because you're already used to like hitting and having to take hits, let's just see how it works. And Scott said, okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna see if I can find his pro stats real quick.
This guy here.
Oh, listen, now I'm interested.
This guy here, bro.
I am now intrigued
Why?
because I didn't know this. Now I know this, and now I gotta find out.
This ain't even got nothing to do with our podcast.
Doesn't it though? Because we're talking about Scott Frost, UCF head coach.
No.
Let's see. He played for 5 seasons, 3 with the Jets, 1 with Cleveland, and 1 with Tampa Bay. And in his 5 years, he had 72 total tackles, 52 solos, 20 assisted, and 2 tackles for lost, and 1 interception. One forced fumble, 1 pass defended. So he was a rotational guy anyway. Anyway,